welcoming you here into the lights as we continue to travel. Whether you're joining me as part of this program or just wanting to learn in general more about connecting with the ancient medicine wheel and these great teachings, or wanting to connect to your own nature and the cycles of life in general, here is some really practical knowledge. So, here at the beginning of the life cycle, we have the direction of the east where the sun rises. We have our springtime of year where things are growing and blossoming from the earth, from the ground. We have our first stage of life where we come into this world as children, as babies. And so we're also wanting to honor and respect and to lay the physical foundation here within ourselves in connection to the earth and connection to our physical body and the needs that we have here. So it's a very practical element that I find critical for us to integrate, especially for those of us that are constantly seeking spiritual growth and often wanting to escape the present reality. This element and this stage of life is really inviting us to come back to our core needs, to be very practical, and also to slow down and be willing to listen to the guidance of the body and what it's telling us, guidance of the earth and what it's sharing with us, and just in general to listen furthermore so that we're being guided towards that of creation and working with the cycles rather than we ourselves trying to create the change or trying to transform or trying this or trying that. And so part of this is to literally let go of any concepts that we have, to come back to absolute nothingness. If you can imagine coming into this world as a baby, as a child, we knew nothing. We were just in absolute amazement for this opportunity to be here on earth. So everything is just literally a miracle. So if you can imagine how exciting life can be and how curious we can be as humans again from this state of not knowing anything about anything, like literally we know nothing. So here is a chance to look at the perceptions that we're carrying from the past. When we see certain things in our life or we look at ourselves in the mirror, are we seeing ourselves in this purity, or are we carrying things, old stories and misperceptions from the past still? So it's a good clear line of that of the past and that of which is real and forever changing here now in the present moment. So as we come into this presence, we're breaking free of all the concepts, all these ideas of how we think we should be living or how we need to live. We break free from our need to meet the needs of others and come back to recognize our own needs and honor and support ourselves and our needs, which of course ultimately allow us to furthermore meet the needs of others. But again, coming back to these core needs that maybe we keep pushing away. Okay? So often as well, the spiritual concepts or the dreams, the visions we have to be out there, but having to really come back to here to build slowly and take it step by step towards our visions, towards our dreams, and in terms of awakening spiritually to integrate into the physical reality, to embody that of which we are in our willingness to take the practical steps here and now in the present moment that we're being asked to take. So we're not always going so far out, but instead coming more deeply within, in particular to connect, to breathe with this physical body, slowing down to take time to connect with the earth and to listen to her, the guidance of Mother Earth, as she is a living being here with a living consciousness, a living spirit that we can connect with, speak with, if we're able and willing to listen, so that we're not continuing as tourists here on earth, disconnected, but returning back to this ancient way of living in connection with the earth and in relation to the earth, in our conversations, in our dialogue, in our realization that we're not separate but a part of her as she's a part of us, and a part of nature, a part of creation. So we can feel this more and more as part of our foundation in which we're coming back home to fully integrate, to fully embody. So we're needing to really, of course, look at our core needs, as I said, in the physical reality. So coming back to recognize, what is the body needing? Are there things within my health, my lifestyle, my habits that I'm having to address and change and maybe pushing away? Maybe it's time now this week and this start of the cycle to integrate the physical needs that my body wants and is speaking to me. And also the physical spaces, the houses that we live in, our working space, our sleeping space, our living space. Maybe it's needing to be cleansed energetically, physically, to have that fresh start, that fresh foundation, that sort of spring cleaning, to integrate that into the start of our cycle. So we have a space that's much more conducive towards, our creativity and following our inspiration as we continue into the next stage of the cycle, which is of the fire and closer towards that of the full moon. Okay? So again, we're in more the yin stage, the more feminine aspect, the new beginning, wanting to slow down, take it step by step, and learning to listen, learning to follow, learning to play again, like the inner child, like our first stage of life. There was no pressures of the future, and there was no, stories of the past. There was just the ability to enjoy being here now in the present. So can we practice this the best that we can? Can we take time in this week or potentially at the very start of this cycle to slow down, to keep things simple, not taking on too much in our life? And maybe coming into this cycle, you can recognize that you already had a good balance in relation to this element, in relation to your daily life and the physical needs you have, the physical space. And maybe you've just completely pushed it away because you've been so caught up into action and really need to slow down and take care of your needs. So naturally through this process, you're going to recognize like where you're at in relation to the earth, in relation to the physical reality and the physical body. Okay, so here's where we're looking at our daily routine as well. Are we establishing a routine and a foundation that's conducive, or we need to make changes in our routine? And in particular, with the morning routine, as this relates also to the start of the cycle and the start of our day, is of course our morning routine, where we're also laying the foundation for our day. So do we have a morning routine that's supporting that of which we desire, or are we wanting to make changes in our morning routine? So these are like broad examples of what we're looking at here in the start of the new cycle. And as I just take a look at my notes here and understand the many polarities that we're breaking through in terms of spirituality and the physical reality, so that we're coming to bridge those two worlds and recognize that the practice within our spiritual journeys and our soul's path need to be fully integrated within our physical reality, so that we can actually have a foundation to continue to rise up and not keep falling back down. So it's allowing us to rise higher by strengthening our foundation, deepening our roots, and really establishing a lifestyle that's most conducive, that's most balanced, so that we can fly higher and higher with having our feet here firm on the earth. So in a more practical way, encouraging you to come back to the breath, into the body, deepening the breath, deepening the connection to the body, and practicing this awareness, not just here as you might be taking time for yourself, listening to this video or walking in nature, but throughout your day. Any moment that you have to take a deep breath into the body and return back to the presence of your body and the awareness of your body, deepening the capacity of your breath so that you're able to be more at this state of relaxation and peace as we return to harmony with nature. So from this state, we're more receptive in understanding in each and every moment that we're experiencing, no matter what environment we're in, how is the body feeling, maybe in relation to this experience or this person in our life? How is it feeling here now in this environment as we breathe into it? And just noticing how the body responds to different environments and different people, and recognizing the core element of our breath, being present here in this moment, being present with the body and listening to what it's saying to us. So the practice again is being present with what is here and now, recognizing that there's nothing beyond this moment in time. There's just the constant ever unfolding of the here and now. So are we able to be in this present, give ourselves the time and space to be in this present? Or are we constantly fighting and pushing towards that of which we desire in the future? Or constantly relating to our experiences from the past? Are we able to be fully in the present, here and now, to honor this moment in time as it's unfolding? And able to just recognize that life is supporting us, guiding us as we deepen into this sense of peace that gives us a sense of clarity, so that from this foundation we're establishing, a stability in which we're more clear as inspiration comes to us, and we're not seeking, we're not searching. We're allowing things more so to come to us rather than running around trying to find solutions and answers to maybe problems that don't even exist, because we ourselves may be creating these problems based on our perceptions. So we're breaking all these patterns, allowing ourselves to become the observers, the listeners, to feel furthermore into life, rather than needing to create it or to do. Honoring this part of ourselves, this more feminine part of the cycle and of ourselves, because also you'll notice the challenges within this current society is that there is so much in relation to action and doing, and so much pressure to do more, that it can be very difficult and a deep practice to allow ourselves to slow down or to do nothing, to break these patterns of constant action and being out of balance in these ways. So today, as we celebrate being born again and taking these steps to continuously and gradually build a new foundation for ourselves, a more solid structure that we can stand more strongly, more peacefully, and therefore continue to fly higher and higher into the ethers and discover our higher selves and embody all that we are. So we can furthermore come back and plant new seeds and grow again. So cycle after cycle, we're learning more and more that life is supporting us as we're a part of nature, a part of creation. And now we get to experience it, to enjoy it, and to celebrate it here, as always, because you are magic.